Hi, I'm Andy Fitzell, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the volley, really the forehand side, the forehand volley, and we're going to talk about the direction the racket should go in, and that is linear or straightforward. If I start in a ready position here and I turn my body, I turn until the racket is straight up and down or vertical. Now where I want the racket to go from here is towards my target, which is going to be forward this way. Remember that you have a net in front of you, so you don't want to swing down when you have an obstacle in front of you. So you want to swing this way. The feeling you want to have on the volley is that you're knocking books off a shelf, or it's a tabletop swing. The swing comes from the shoulder. So notice how my hand here, if I put it in line with the camera, is coming straight forward. The reason why you want to do this is now this creates a safety zone or a hitting zone. So if I'm early on this shot, I'm good here, I'm good here, I'm good here, I'm good here. So if you volley this way, or if you volley on an arc this way, there's only one point where you can be good. If I'm late, it's out. If I'm early, it's in the net. If I swing this way, this takes a lot of calculation. For every degree I swing down, the racket face has to be open the same number of degrees. So it's not that it's wrong, it's just more difficult to do. So we want to learn to volley this way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at some research, some video that I did with Vic Braden, that we did with the Bryan Brothers, and we're going to see how they volley on the forehand side. Okay, this film is from a special research project that Vic Braden and myself did with Mike and Bob Bryan to get volley footage. And this is a three-dimensional study, and this is a trace, the line you see is a trace of Bob's hand. Now the racket is just an extension of the hand. Notice how the line, or the trace of his hand, goes straight forward. There's so much we can talk about here, but you don't see the hand cutting downward. You just see it going straight out on a tabletop or knocking books off of a shelf. This next one here is a trace of the throat of Bob's racket. So again, you don't see the racket cutting down or doing any crazy movements. You just see it going straight forward like he's taking a wall to the ball. Very simple. Again, the better the player, usually the simpler the system will be. So let's take it back to the classroom and we'll go over a quick review. So from the footage, it's very, very clear to see that the Bryan Brothers, the #1 doubles team in the world, arguably some of the best volleyers in the world, do not do this, they do not do this, they do this. So simple. Now one thing I want to mention is the grip they hold. Now like a lot of top players, sometimes they don't even know the grip they do hold. Mike and Bob Bryan use what's called a composite grip. It's between a 2 and a 3. So their knuckle is over here on the ridge between the 2 and the 3. This will allow them to keep the racket square with very little wrist adjustment. So they're able to get their elbow out, have the racket square to the ball, and go forward the way they do. If I use a continental grip, which is this grip, notice how the racket face opens up 45 degrees. It also points to the left 45 degrees. So now with the racket face open, I can't go fast and forward. I have to either swing down, or I have to play it late, or I have to try to really adjust my grip, which is very difficult to do, especially on a wide-reaching forehand volley. So you want to have at least a composite grip between the 2 and the 3, or if you're just starting out and really working on the fundamentals, we suggest you go on an Eastern grip, which is a knuckle right on the top panel. That way, wherever your palm is lined up, you're lined up right with the strings, and you can volley just like the Bryan Brothers, and hopefully one day make just as much money. So thanks, and keep working on this motion on your volley.